going to read. Sorry, I'm blind and technically challenged. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chiedza and I came from Zimbabwe with my son at the age of 21 in hopes of living out my dreams. Since a young girl, I wanted to work as a writer in the film industry, and life in the United States wasn't as easy as I had thought it would be. Soon I found myself searching for my path, my purpose. I'd originally moved to San Francisco and eventually made my way to Los Angeles to follow my dreams. After living there for quite some time, I found myself struggling with my personal dreams and my son's happiness to be in a more family-oriented environment. So by a leap of faith, I moved to Orange County about a year and a half ago. Knowing that my decision was based on my son's desire to be in a family-oriented community, I started looking for churches that I could attend. I'd been raised in a Christian home and I wanted to continue my path with God with the support system of a church group. I visited several churches, and I won't mention any names, and I would walk into them, hear a good service, but feel a little disconnected from the people. It was almost disinviting. And then I met Anne Lator, and after lunch, she invited me to church with her. I'd heard a little bit about Pastor Rick Warren, but thought the church was too far. She tried to explain Saddleback and several campuses, satellite churches. It was very confusing, and I didn't understand what she meant, but I was excited to go to church. I will never forget the first day I walked in. Several people, including Joe, came up to me and said, "Hello, how are you?" And I felt so welcomed, valued, and wanted. You have no idea how long a smile will go to get in someone really comfortable, especially when you're from another country. There was that personal touch that made me want to keep coming back, and so I did. I've now found a church that I look forward to attending to, but most importantly, where I feel like I found a home. One night, I decided to attend a night of worship with Anne in the new building. I admired Pastor Moses' faith and vision for the new location. We walked into the building and we sat in front. At first I felt awkward. Then Pastor Moses started speaking about worshiping, surrendering ourselves to God. It was in that moment that I completely surrendered my heart to God. I reconnected a lost wire, a lost string that hadn't been in my heart for a very long time. For the first time, I felt I was part of a bigger purpose, that it was something about the music and the worship team that really touched my heart that night. And people singing, hands raised, and I just said, God, I want this. I want to be part of something like this. Personal plan bigger than me. I want to live your plan. I fell in love with God that night. And then Anne invited me to attend class 101. Anne is always bugging me. I've been excited to get involved in the church and wanted to start serving. It was the key chain our church passed that said, "Use me, God," that inspired me to use those words with God. It was that night that I decided to be baptized again. I had a lot of reasons not to be baptized that night: my hair, my makeup, my clothes, and I just had no excuse. They offered me something to wear and a hairdryer. So I took another leap of faith, this time in really warm water, surrounded by my church family, and dedicated my life to God in that baptism. I felt like I'd used my talents everywhere else in the world but God's house. I'm excited about being used by God. So thank you, Saddleback Church, for making me feel loved, valued, wanted, and just a part of belonging. And is really inspirational and connecting me to God. And I think my life has been changed forever.
What I love about those stories is it started with an invite.